about the update?
So I did some shooting today, but hasn't been able to practice. So still day to day. Could be any day now where he's able to kind of get back in there. Just want him to feel 100% confident in that shoulder.
Are you looking for him to give you the go-ahead, or is it more of a medical thing where, how's that?
It's more of a medical thing. It's not really even a confidence thing. It's just he's got some soreness in there. He took a heck of a shot, and obviously that shoulder's been through a lot. So, but I think we'll see him, at some point, in the near future.
How do you think you adjusted without him last game?
I thought we held down the fort pretty well, minus the first half. Obviously, we turned the ball over. A lot of our issues, in the first half were obviously the beginning of the game where we missed some really makeable good looks. Then we turned it over, and then we had some bad defensive lapses. So, but overall, not being as deep as we'd like to be to begin with, taking away one of our best players against a very good team. I thought we held up well enough, but I was still just incredibly disappointed in the loss, because we lost the game in the first half with the way we started.
When Hurley does come back, is there a concern of him getting over sort of the mental hurdle again and being as aggressive as he needs to be?
You do worry about it a little bit. With some players you wouldn't, because some guys are oblivious, just oblivious to almost everything. And then you have guys that are really smart and think, and very smart and overthink or care a lot and think about things a lot. And Al falls into the smart guy who thinks about things a lot. So I worry about that a little bit with him, but I think deep down he knows he's fine. He's fine.
What are you guys calling the injury? Anything? Is it inflammation? Or?
Shoulder bang? Oh man, is that a bad? Yeah, I was in pre-med, so that was a bad one. No, I just got. I don't know what we call it. Just bruised shoulder, maybe. We got a bruised shoulder.
Kid Gardner for trying to change the subject.
No, please get off that.
What was he on your radar or anybody's radar coming into the season, or just kind of an example of a kid who's not a highly touted prospect, really just making the most of his playing time?
Yeah, we didn't really recruit that position at Rhode Island, and then it wasn't. We had very specific thoughts about what we wanted to do in 18, kind of secure some things, and then obviously get quickly to 19 and 20 where we felt like we really needed to elevate things. So now we was not really very well aware of him in the late signing. But I tell you what, he's a unique player, and his quickness, his nose for the ball, his pursuit of the ball, his footwork and spins, and his knack for throwing himself into the defender, throwing his head back and getting to the line. It's pretty remarkable. And he's undersized, and you're going to look at layup lines and say, that guy's getting 19 a game. But then the game starts, and he's as impressive a young player as you see. He plays like a vet.
Is he going to take a similar approach to what you guys did with McDuffie and Aubrey to stop him?
Yeah, he's going to see a lot of bodies tomorrow. He's been so prolific, and the real eye-opening game for us is the 30+ and 20 effort against Central Florida, one of the best defensive teams with that front line. Really was an eye-opener. So, we don't have we're not the quickest, most athletic front court in terms of rim protection and protecting the paint. So his speed and quickness is definitely concerning for us. So our guards are going to really have to help and then get out to their shooters.
Has Coach Dooley gotten over you not going to South Carolina yet?
Oh man, one of the great, that's how old Dools is. Yeah. And he played at St. Benedict's where I coached, so a lot of connections with Dools. Recruited me to South Carolina. Had a great visit. Saw Hootie and the Blowfish that weekend before they kind of blew up. Don't remember getting on the airplane. after that late night concert. But Duels has been just a great friend and somebody I got a great deal of respect for. And you know, he did an unbelievable job at East Carolina the first time around. One of the most well-respected people in the profession. It'll be good seeing him in the handshake, and then we'll try and kill him when the game starts.
Get him into Gardner for a second, not to make too much of a big deal out of it, but is it an example that sometimes you don't have to be a 4 or 5 star prospect to come in and contribute? I mean, it's people overrate the rankings and that kind of stuff.
No, you can't do that. You know, those rankings, you know, you got to trust your eyes. I mean, obviously, I think it's really easy to pick out 6 or 7 can't miss guys in each class. There are more mistakes get made between, you know, 15 and 175 or 200, and you see it every year. And there are guys from the McDonald's game that play in it, and that's the high point of their career. You never hear from them again. And yeah, so it's like I have a great deal of respect for the scouts, and we use their services. But in the end, any college coach that doesn't trust their eyes above all else is a fool.
Given your struggles on the road, it's even more important these home games.
Yeah, I just think that for us, it's like home away. Like we might have Cincinnati was just we consider the opponent, and it was one of our better efforts of the year. You know, I don't know that it's necessarily like any type of a home or road mindset. Obviously, every team prefers playing at home. Obviously, we love playing at home. For us, it's more like we got to get better on defense. Like if we're ever going to get to 500 in the league, and put ourselves in a position to again compete to play in March, like we got to get better defensively. I think offensively, when we don't turn the ball over, we're starting to show signs, or we've been really good at times offensively, but defensively we haven't been able to kind of solidify ourselves, become like a top 75, top 60 defensive team. If we were, we'd probably have 15 or 16 wins right now. So all the answers for us lie at the defensive end of the court. Because I think we're playing good enough offense to have more wins. We just haven't been good enough defensively. Unfortunately, becoming good on defense takes a lot of time and something you got to build.
What particularly do you need to be better on defense?
We lost the game the other night because a backup player scored 11 points. I mean, a good defensive team doesn't allow De Jesus to come in the game and impact the game that way. I don't know how many, was he a 3 or 4 point a game scorer, had 11 in a game that was a 2-point game under 2 minutes.
And you were at big spots too.
Big spots. I mean, end the shot clock. Driving us to the front of the rim with 1 on the shot clock, 2-point game. Help comes, he dumps it off, 3-point play, dunk. I mean, and those are our guards get beat off the dribble. And sometimes it's the guards not having the grit to guard the ball in big spots. Sometimes it's a big not hedging a ball screen. Sometimes we're not extending a pin. It's a multitude of things that either young players or teams that don't understand how to play high-level defense. It hasn't sunken in yet. Unfortunately, it takes time, and obviously I've got to do better coaching it if we're going to be better down the stretch. It's defense. It's not road. It's not home. We've got to get better on defense.
With Mamadou, you're just going to spot him every once in a while. And obviously, you played a couple games ago, didn't play last game. Just going to pick his spots with him.
Yeah, it's just like, the more I see him moving more fluidly in here, just the more you see the knee responding, and just the more fluid the movement gets. I think that you'll start to see more. And then obviously a game like this, kind of undersized mobile forwards, this may be a game for him. He looked pretty good today. Let's hope he looks good and shoot around tomorrow. But because of their personnel and the mobility of their 4s and 5s, this may be more of a game for Mo to get an opportunity.
I know he and Cook are pretty tight. Does he help with that transition a little bit?
Yeah, the Putnam guys, they speak, their vernacular, so different language there for those guys. So they were fast friends coming in. Mo had a big impact on the Cook when he first got to Putnam, and he's been he's been helping him. But all the guys have been great with him because they see, they see his ability, and they see that he's kind of a quiet, nice guy with all this type of talent. And so I think because he's such a humble kid, the way he's come in here, I think everyone's kind of it's been kind of drawn to him a little bit.
And Al Tariq, I noticed he was pretty vocal on the bench the other night, and I think Jalen was saying in practice he's been a leader. Have you noticed that since the injury he's still?
Yeah, he's a great leader for the team. He's a heart and soul guy, and going into next year, he'll be the, with Jalen here and CV, they provide leadership, and I think and Al really provides it because he's so vocal and he's so unselfish. And I think next year you'll see him really emerge as like a real leader because he's growing that way. And I also too, I think he knows when professional basketball is done for him, he's going to be on the other side of it. He knows that he's got a pretty good idea that coaching's in his future. So I can almost see him starting to practice. So I tell him all the time, learn what he can from me, everything but the temper.
I thought Christian could possibly be a coach someday.
Definitely, no, he could. I mean, I think we got a couple guys. I think Christian definitely. I think definitely Al. We got like Mo. They're gonna have certain personality, and I think those guys will have it, and a passion for the game. And those three guys all have that great passion.